A sweep is a tool or command that is used to sweep some sketched profile about some path. So a good example of a sweep here is this paperclip design. And just by looking at this design, it appears to be somewhat complex. And I probably wouldn't be able to create this by just using simple extrusions, cuts, or even revolves in this case. But a sweep would be a perfect tool to create this design. So essentially, this sweep was created by two fairly simple sketches. Taking a look at the two sketches here, I have the profile sketch. So in that case, that is just a very simple circle that I'm then sweeping about some path. And in this case, the path is the general shape of my paperclip here. So every sweep we design will consist of a profile and a path, just like we're seeing here. Again, the profile can be essentially any closed shape you may want, and the path can be of any particular complexity you may need. So using the sweep command, you can come up with some very, very nice and complex designs. So let's take a look at how we can recreate this from scratch. First, I might start off by just sketching out that profile. So it's a fairly simple sketch. I'll just start from my origin point here, somewhere about here, and something like this. And something like this. And so on there. I'm not going to worry about dimensioning and making this perfect. I'm just throwing together a quick sketch, something about what I'm looking for. So there I have the path for my paperclip shape here. And then essentially all I want to do is sweep a circular profile about this path. So what I'd like to do is now create another sketch just of a very simple circle. And I'd like that to probably start right at the beginning of my path. So in this case, probably right at that origin point would be a good place to sketch out that profile. And then I'm sweeping it or pushing it all the way around my path here. So probably the most important aspect of a sweep is making sure that your profile and path are lined up nicely with each other. So generally you'd like the profile to be maybe at the end of the path or the start of the path. So right at this origin would be a good point in my case here. And you'd also probably want it to be perpendicular, or at least at a pretty good angle to that path as well. So really I'd like to sketch out that circular profile starting right at that origin point. So what I might need here is actually to sketch out a circle on that right view. So I'm going to jump to a right view here. And now I'm sketching right at that right view, and I want it to be kind of dead at my origin here. So I'd like something like this. But I want to make sure I'm throwing that right onto my origin so it should line up nicely with my path. Again, in this specific right view, it's a 2D view. It's kind of hard to see if it's lining up nicely with my path there. So I might need to jump back into a bit of a 3D view and see if that's lining up okay. So there it does look like it's at the correct start point for my path. But I can see this circle is probably quite a bit too large. So let's resize this a little bit. And maybe something like this would be a little bit better. Again, it should now hopefully line up perfectly with my path there. And I'm just going to sweep that profile about the path. Now that we've created our path and profile sketches, that was the difficult part. To actually run through the sweep command is very nice and simple. Again, I can just go into my tools, and I will find the sweep command. And first it's asking to select the face or closed sketch that I'd like to sweep. So that would just be my circular profile here is what I'm wanting to sweep. And then I can tap next. And now it's asking me to select the lines or curves for the spine, essentially what I'm sweeping about, the path. So I can tap any portion of this path I may like, and I can see that sweep automatically coming in. I can choose to add as much of the path as I may want. So in this case, if I'd want to sweep about the entire path here, I can just tap each of these path segments to finish off the entire paperclip design. And once I'm happy with that, I can just tap the Done check. And now I have a nice and fairly complicated shape, but it is really quite simple to design by making use of the sweep tools. In the next few lessons, we will learn some additional tools to help create even more complex bodies and shapes.